All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Empowered AF 2.0. This is your host, Mark Santiago, CEO and founder of Empowered Man, lead coach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I love you guys. Love being here. I love sharing the wisdom that I have. Sometimes I don't like podcasting in its sense because it feels like just too rigid. Like I have to have it in by a certain time. It has to be a certain length, certain format. It can't just record it sometimes out there or whatever. I wish you guys could be with me as I come up with the shit I do. My team gets the bulk of it because I meet with them every single day and I train them every single day. So a lot of the topics that you're going to hear in general, or that you hear in general on my podcast, are topics I already talk with my team about, that I train my team on. And I feel like you guys need to hear as well. So today I'm going to be talking about this idea of your community, leveling up your community. Now, how many of you think about the community you grew up in, the community you lived in, and think about the people that you've always had around you? I remember growing up, and one of my pastor's favorite sayings is he would say, if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Well, what does that mean? That means that, hey, if you're hanging around these guys, this is going to be your future, right? This is what your future will look like based upon the people that you put yourself in community with. Another one that people would say, and I think this is, I don't have the verifiable statistics on this, but it makes pretty good sense. And that is that you will make financially within 80% of your top 5 closest friends. I'll say that again. You will make within 80% income of your top 5 closest friends. So I want you to look at your friends around you and think about how much money you make. Think about what you do. Not just what you do for a living, but what you do for fun. More than likely, you're doing the things that they do. You are being a part of their community. Now, most of the time, that's not bad, right? Most of the time, there's nothing wrong with the things they do. Maybe you're part of soccer. Maybe you're part of baseball, football with your kids. Maybe you go play pool. Maybe you go bowling. Maybe you're part of church groups and you do all the church stuff, right? That's not necessarily bad. But what we found is that there is power in community. There is power in community. Even there's a proverb that says, bad company corrupts good character. Bad company corrupts good character. A lot of guys will come on calls with us and they'll literally say, my wife started hanging out with these new friends and she's completely changed. Well, why has that happened? It happens because the community that we put ourselves in dictates and shapes and molds who we are. And so we have to be ultra careful about the people that we put around us and who that community is. See, some of you have come into my world, into my ecosystem, and you're eating from my tree of knowledge, the podcast, and you're in the Facebook group, you're on my YouTube channel, etc. And you have just discovered there is advice, there is wisdom that is outside of your purview of what you are accustomed to, because what you're accustomed to is those guys that are your drinking buddies, those uncles, those dads, those moms that give you advice based on their experience that is not professional experience, their experience that is most of the time not healthy experience. And so when you're dealing with that, what you're doing is you're creating a community around you. And that community is either leveling you up or holding you back. Holding you back. Now, it's funny because a guy will get into our Facebook group and he'll be like, wow, there's all these men dealing with what I'm going. We got over 15 at the time of this recording. We have like 15,000 guys in our Facebook group. If you're not in there, empoweredman.co/group, empoweredman.co/group. You need to get in there. It's free. 15,000 men going through what you're going through right now. 15,000. And that's not even a drop in the bucket. I have heard there is upwards of 2 million divorces per year in the United States of America. 2 million divorces per year in the United States of America. And it's not like Empowered Man is catching you guys. We've got our hands out, we've got our nets out, and we're trying to catch as many of you before you go off that cliff of divorce. And we're trying to find, it's kind of like herding fish, like if I was in a stream and there's like all these fish coming at me and I'm just like trying to block some, and that's the 15,000, right? Or the 60,000 on my email list, right? I'm just trying to block some of you guys from going, and I'm trying to create bigger nets and bigger walls with a team of people so we can create even bigger so that you don't have to go off that bridge, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that many men have made before. But all that boils down to is community. It's community, because the community that you put yourself in is going to mold and shape you into who you are. It's a container. Think of your community as a container, right? You ever have, I don't know, some different kinds of food, and maybe you put it in one container and put it in the fridge, and you open it up the next day and it stinks, or it smells like, the chicken now smells like the broccoli or something like that, right? You can imagine you ever doing something like that. If you've done it, maybe you haven't. I don't know. Bachelors, we tend to do that, or not. I'm not a bachelor anymore. But when I was a bachelor, I would tend to do stuff like that. Just put it all together, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, why does the chicken smell like that? Oh, it shouldn't smell like that. It shouldn't taste like that. Oh, it's corrupted, right? The chicken now no longer tastes like chicken. It tastes like broccoli or onions or whatever it was that you put in there. And it's not corrupted necessarily in a bad way, but it doesn't taste the same as it did before. So that's why we put it in separate containers, right? Chicken goes in the chicken container, broccoli goes in the broccoli container. So what's happening is you, as a piece of grilled chicken, are being placed in places and containers that aren't healthy for you, that are allowing you to be corrupted in a bad way, because you're seeing things through that lens. You're seeing things through the broccoli lens, not the grilled chicken lens, to use this food analogy even further. And guys, I just came up with that off the whim. I did not have that written down. My buddy Todd Herman had a great quote. He talked about environment the other day on Facebook. And he said this: probably the most underappreciated aspect of success is the environment. For example, when immigrants come to America, they find success so much easier. The system you place yourself in can remove a lot of the friction. You can take an average person and put them in a great system, and they can outproduce a superstar in a flawed system. Choose your environment wisely. Guys, your environment is everything. Your environment is everything. Who you surround yourself in right now, where you are putting yourself right now, is everything. And that is because of this. You have the opportunity to grow into the most empowered version of yourself. But if you are hanging around with disempowered, disenfranchised, weak little man children, you are not growing. That's right. I said it. Your drinking buddy may not be the best guy to be getting advice from. Your boss may not be the best guy to get advice from. Your pastor may not be the best guy or gal to get your advice from. Your wife, your ex-wife, your other friends, your uncles, your cousins may not be the best people. They go, but they love me. Yeah, they do. They do love you. That's the thing, right? It's confusing because these people love us and they want the best for us, but they give us bad fucking advice. They either tell us, oh, fuck her, screw her, go find you some other girl right now and go screw her and fuck her, and then that'll make you feel better. Or they go the extreme, on the other side of it, and it's like, well, it's all your fault, and you were a bastard of a husband, blah, 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 and all these other things. And there's no healthy lens on what it is that you need to be doing and working on right now. And that is why we created this container we call Thrive. We created a container of other men who invest in themselves, who will have your back, challenge the bullshit stories you're telling yourself about your situation so that you can grow into the most empowered version of yourself. That's why we do what we do at Empowered Man, because we did not think that men should go through this alone. We do not believe that men should feel isolated and alone. In fact, the vision of Empowered Men is to eradicate loneliness and inauthenticity in men and empower men to feel authentic in every and thrive in every dimension of life. That's why we exist as a company. That's why I get when someone calls me a scammer, or when someone says, oh, you're just about my money, I say, fuck you. Fuck you. You know nothing about me. You know nothing about what I do. You know nothing about the dreams and the visions. You know nothing about the sleepless nights. You know nothing about the comments and the hate that I have to put up with on a regular basis. You're fucking jealous because I'm a contributor to this world and you are not. And I say that gladly to any man that would try to troll my shit, or any man that would try to challenge me on what I do, because I know that we are making a difference in men's lives, and that's what matters. You are not my judge. I've got one judge, and that is it. And that's who I answer to. You are not him. Thank God you are not him. And I bet your wife would say the same. So here's the thing, guys, is that if you want to grow, You've got to put yourself in a new container. You cannot consistently grow in the container you were in, because the container you were in has got you lumped in with broccoli and mashed potatoes and all these other things that seem good, but are taking away from the power of who you are as a man. They're sort of dumbing down what is going on because they're not able to lift you into the next place. Now, are there support groups that are great? Yeah, of course there are. Support groups are great. Here's the thing. You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. I've been a part of some great men's groups, great men's ministry groups, great groups of guys that just had your back, that you could go to coffee with and pray with and things like that. And those are good. I'm not saying don't go to those things, but here's what I am saying is that the level of not accountability, the level of leadership you're going to get from that is minimal. Why? Well, number one, those groups are not set up for what we do. They are not specific to what we do, especially in Thrive, where it's to help men who are separated and or getting a divorce get their power, confidence, and freedom back. Those groups are general groups. Most of them are focused on stop doing porn or stop lusting after your neighbor's wife, whatever the heck it is, right? Most of them are not set up to help you learn how to actually communicate in a healthy way, to learn how to set boundaries for yourself. In fact, I was a part of many men's groups for 20 years, and I never heard a man say, "You need boundaries, brother." Not once did I ever hear that conversation. Not once did I ever hear him say, "Hey, you keep blaming your wife. What about you? How come you're not looking inward? What's going on?" No, we put ourselves in a group, in a container of other men who invest in themselves, who've seen the value in themselves. They have the emotional intelligence to go, you know what? I can't do this alone. They're aware, they're self-aware. They're able to regulate their emotions and not be so overly emotional and bring emotion, bring regulation to their life. They go, I'm going to invest in myself. I want this guy to have my back, and I'm going to have this guy's back. And I want him to challenge the bullshit stories in my life. Guys, most support groups don't challenge the bullshit stories. They just don't. They don't know how. They're afraid of stepping on toes. They're afraid of hurting people's feelings, right? Unless you've been a part of like maybe AA or something like that. And maybe I don't know. I've never been to any of those types of meetings, but most of those groups do that. And in Thrive, that's not our focus. In Thrive, our focus is to challenge the bullshit stories you're telling yourself, because you're all telling yourself a story. I tell myself stories. There are things in my life that need to be awoken. There are lies in my life that I'm constantly channeling other people around me and going, hey, where am I lying to myself? Show me. Where am I lying to myself? That's why I have team around me. That's why I have other coaches around me to coach me and to help me see the blind spots that are around me and that I'm making bad decisions about. But it's up to you as to whether or not you want to stay in the broccoli and mashed potatoes container, or you want to jump in the grilled chicken container and be with the real grilled chicken that are no longer going to smell and taste like broccoli and mashed potatoes, but are going to be like that nice piece of juicy chicken breast meat that's like grilled. I just love grilled chicken. I'm just going off on this story. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you're in the wrong container. And it's time to jump into the right container. It's time to jump in a container that's going to level you up, that's going to make you a prime piece of meat, that's going to make you a prime thing that other people are going to want to eat from, that your ex-wife is, wow, you're no longer covered in mashed potatoes and broccoli. You are a one big, nice, big chicken breast. I hope you guys are hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for change. I'm hungry for transformation. And I want that for you guys. That's my message to you this week. I want you to level up your community. If it's with Thrive, awesome. If it's somewhere else, go, great, awesome. But level up your community. Stop playing the victim game. Stop playing the bullshit of, I don't trust other men. Okay, I get that, man. We've all been fucked. We've all been screwed by men. We've all had authority figures, screw us over, etc. We live in a fatherless generation. And I'm telling you, we have a fathering company. That is the heart of Empowered Man, is to father men without fathers. I think that's going to resonate with a few of you today, where maybe you have felt like, gosh, I didn't really have a father growing up. I'm here to tell you, we do tough love, but we also love. It's not all jerk things. We're not all just being mean to you. We will encourage you, and we will tell you why you are loved and what is so great about you, because we believe that you were created for good. We don't believe you're trash. I don't care what things you've done wrong. I don't care what sins you've committed. I don't care about any of those things. What I care about is the fact that you have decided to no longer live that way. That you've decided that, hey, I don't want to live in this story anymore. I want to stop playing small and I'm going to start playing large. I'm going to start putting myself out there. I'm going to become vulnerable because vulnerability is leading to healing and that healing that leads to freedom. So if you want freedom, you got to be vulnerable with other men. And I'm glad, man, if you've got a free thing, great, awesome. Keep doing that. But don't second guess. Don't sell yourself short because of the story you're telling yourself. You're worth the investment. You really are. And guys, remember, the income thing is one. Show me your friends, show me your future. That's another. Pay attention to that. Look at that in your life today. Take that as a challenge. Look at the friends you have around you. Is that the future you want? And if they are, great, awesome. You should see my friends. They're fucking incredible people. In fact, most of them don't even live in Arizona. I have to travel to them or they travel to me or whatever. And we meet up in different cities because these are people that are taking the world by storm. These are people that are world changers. I only hang out with world changers. And it's not to say I'm too good for anybody else. I hang out with anybody. But in terms of influence, I'm only going to allow certain people to influence my life. That's it. Because I'm not stopping. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to fucking change the world. There is something in me that says, you're not stopping until you die. And if you're with me, awesome. I hope you come with me and let's go do it together. You got dreams, visions. Let me help you unleash those dreams and visions. Because this world needs it. This world needs men that have come alive. So let's go do it.